and psychic powers, it's very likely Sylux is going to get slapped aside like the 2-bit threat that he is.
Wait for the artifact.
Not miss would come up for Samus.
So a few days ago, we got some new gameplay footage coming from Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. To the shock of many, we got to see the final confrontation between Sylux and Samus Aran. A battle built up literally all the way back during Metroid Prime 3, and it was a rivalry set up as early as Metroid Prime Hunters. Many in the community were therefore shocked to see Sylux literally get taken out like a punk during their duel. I mean, come on guys, even Samus had to dodge Ravenbeak's opening salvo when they had their famous duel on Planet ZDR. So let's go over the story and the history of this so-called rivalry, and see if Sylux getting folded harder than Virgil's lawn chair is completely reasonable or a complete writing disaster. So it all starts with Metroid Prime Hunters. This game is actually notable as it's this far the only game who doesn't call Samus the undisputed strongest in the galaxy. Instead, the galactic public held that Samus and Sylux were so closely matched that it was impossible to decide which of the two were stronger, stating that he might be her match. Therefore, it's likely that as the Hunters scrambled to the Extreme Galaxy, Sylux was probably the favorite to win the race for the ultimate power alongside Samus. However, we learned that his reputation was in fact inflated, as Sylux basically was forced into a fighting retreat against Samus as he was backed into a hangar bay and even managed to call in his gunship as additional heavy firepower. But in the end, he was forced to flee with his tail tucked between his legs. The second indication that his power level was massively inflated came when Samus arrived on the Oubliette prison ship scene. There, Sylux and the other Hunters released Guria, and all of them, Sylux included, were immediately grabbed, sucked dry, and thrown aside like vermin by this freshly awakened, and might I remind you, as weak as possible Guria, where Samus Aran was able to deal with Guria as we all know. What's even more noticeable here is that Sylux is getting outcompeted by a very astute Samus who doesn't even have her most powerful abilities. In short, there's a good reason why the galaxy never again questioned Samus' position as the heavyweight bounty hunting champion. Sylux stayed out of the way during the rest of the Phase Zone crisis, and Prime 4 actually gives us a reason why. We learn that he isn't leading the pirates because of his personal power or charisma as a leader. He is leading them because he's using the Metroids to control them. This is significant as it means that he was neither as powerful nor as charismatic and good as a leader as the likes of, say, Prime 3 Dark Samus, who took the reins of leadership during, well, Prime 3, and arguably isn't even as strong as the likes of Master Brain from Federation Force, or even an incomplete Mother Brain who was being rebuilt on Zebes at the time. We know this as the various grunt species in the space pirates require a strong leader to maintain their intelligence. Therefore, Sylux was so inconsequential, he wasn't even to do better than goddamned Master Brain. Master Brain! This is further evidenced by his known activities of tailing the end of Prime 3 Samus, which led to a grand total of nothing, and stealing the Talvanian Metroid Egg, which, incidentally, can you talk about how shit this plan was? He broke aboard a Federation ship, and did he expect to fight his way out of the ship if he came across resistance? I mean, sure, he got lucky as the Federation decided to protect the Metroid with literally only a locked door and a flimsy computer. Anyway, it's likely sometime before or after Super Metroid, Sylux had begun bioengineering his Talvanian Metroids into something new, and managed to amass a sizable pirate force, which leads us 2 in-universe years later to Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. It is in this gameplay trailer where we see Sylux is attacking a Federation research station. What is notable from the opening text is that Sylux is not here to fight or even confront Samus. Samus Aran just happened to be on the scene as she happened to be on a recon mission nearby and arrived to offer backup to the beleaguered defenders. And this is when the confrontation happens. Now you do have to feel bad for poor Sylux here as he only has a handful of options. He can A. Run away, thereby losing out on his prize and looking bad in front of the pirates who seem to barely want to work for him anyway if he needs Metroids to control them. Or B, he can stand his ground and attempt to win the day. He chooses the latter option, and well, we know how that happens. Sylux, at the end of the day, was never a match for Samus in a fair fight. He needed his ship to stand a chance at first, and from there would only trail Samus from a distance. And years later, in spite of all his plotting and scheming, he goes down in just one shot. Not from a missile or a plasma beam shot, but from one basic shot. Sylux is not going to be the main antagonist of Prime 4 Beyond. It is as I put it in the video I made some time ago. To the rest of the galaxy, Sylux may be second best, but as Samus Aran, he was simply second rate.